Very unusual for us to start on time, much less 2 nights in a row. Amen. All right, my friends, there were a few points that we did not discuss last night. Yeah. We're going to start with mailboxes on Shabbos. What I mean is the question was asked yesterday, putting a letter in the mailbox for the mailman to take on Shabbos. So,
like Friday, he just left and I forgot to give it to him.
Exactly. You put it in the mailbox. So in a place with an air, we said yesterday, it's no problem. You're not telling him to do a malacha. What's he doing? He's taking it from the mailbox, putting it in his bag. Okay.
Yeah, but the arrow is to be, something. My community is an arrow, just a community.
Right, but it doesn't reach to the post office. But he doesn't have to take it to the post office on Shabbos.
As long as it's there, even 1 block from my house.
Yeah. The rest of what he does is on his own. You didn't tell him what to do. What you told him to do is not a malach.
Rabbi, can I say, sometimes they come Friday second time. I know they come sometime twice a day. At my house.
That?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. They drop mail, and then after...
that must be a package. It must be a package.
No.
Mail twice a day?
Twice a day in my neighborhood. They take the garbage, the big one, every week. How often they take 1 month, once to your neighbor?
What does it do with mail?
Everything is extra over there. I don't know what's happening with it.
I don't know. Lo shamati. Okay, the bottom line is, if there is no Eruv, so when you put it there, Ronnie was asking last night, maybe I'm not telling him. He takes it because he figured it out. I didn't tell him. So I called up Rav Osner, and he said it's pashut. It's obvious that it's aser. But then I brought up the question of the fact that the mailbox belongs to the federal government, at least by the federal government, whatever it is, based on the law. He said he actually never heard of that. But nevertheless, I was thinking about it yesterday. Rabbi Vosner. I wasn't ever heard about that law, so he didn't really know. He didn't have an opinion. But I was thinking about it, and I don't think it's allowed anyway. I'll tell you why. There's 2 issues. There's 2 issues here. There's the issue of Marasayan. Marasayan is only when it's on your property. Right? Marasayan is only when it's on your property.
Can I put something here? Say something about that? It's not Marasayan. He's coming every day, and Shabbat too. If you have mail or no mail, he's coming over there.
I understand, but when you...
On Friday, no Marasayan.
One second. No, even if not, if you put the envelope there, no, if you put the envelope there, it's the same. He sees it, he takes it. Yeah, I understand that. So what? It's not Marasayan. That's my point. It's not Marasayan. Here's the thing. Marasayan is when you have a situation where he's taking something that you gave to him before Shabbos, and he's walking out the door on Shabbos. So then there's a question, maybe it's considered like it's aser, because people will think you gave it to him on Shabbos. Over here, I think it's more than Marasayan. Over here, you're actually telling him to take it on Shabbos. BeKablanus is allowed. But you can never tell the goy to do it on Shabbos, right? So here, by putting it there and knowing that the next time he comes on Shabbos, you're telling him to, in other words, by putting it there, you're telling him to take it on Shabbos. And that's not Marasayan, that's actually aser. Talking about the mail from the box.
He's coming anywhere without this mail. He's coming with the mail to drop it
Lo
inside.
Mashana, taking an envelope from the Rishus HaYachid
To shoot.
into the Rishus HaRabim is
Rabim,
also.
right? He's going
The
in
box is
the
not-
neighbor.
Talking about with no Eruv. Talking about with no Eruv. No Eruv.
No, okay.
The box belongs to the government.
It doesn't make a difference. It has the
It's
din of
outside
Rishus
your-
HaYachid.
It's not outside
The
your-
din of Rishus HaYachid Rishus HaRabim doesn't go by ownership. Rishus HaYachid Rishus HaRabim goes by the physical properties of the domain. So depending on where it's located, it could have a din of Rishus HaYachid. Even if not, it's not going to be a Rishus HaRabim. Maybe it'll be a Carmelis. You know what I'm saying? Depending on the size.
Talking about the fruit or for the mailman to take?
But to put it in a way that the mailman will take it. We were discussing
For
yesterday.
Shabbos?
Friday.
Put it on Friday after he came, so that he'll take it on Shabbos.
So you check and see, so you're not allowed?
Rabbi Vosner says it's not allowed, but
Based on?
that it's like you're telling him to take it on Shabbos. Like I said yesterday. But even though the question was asked yesterday, maybe the mailbox should be considered like your domain, like the government's domain, because legally it is. But I'm saying now, this I didn't discuss with Rabbi Vosner because he didn't know those laws or whatever, like government law. But I was thinking later that I don't think it's a heter anyway, because this is not a Maris Ayin issue. This is an actual Isser issue. That you're actually telling him to take it on Shabbos. Maris Ayin is if you gave it to him before Shabbos, and he walks out on Shabbos, people will think that you gave it to him on Shabbos, or you sold it to him on Shabbos, all these things. But if you actually are telling him to take it on Shabbos, it's not Maris Ayin. So what's the difference if it's your domain, it's not your domain?
But anyway, you come to pick up the question mail also next
So Mishana, this actual piece
It doesn't come special for me.
doesn't make a difference. This piece he's taking special for you. This piece of mail, this one envelope, he's taking special for you.
It's a chance he might not come.
What?
It's
Yeah.
a chance, I mean.
He'll lose his job. What does that mean?
No. I mean,
Just keep the
sometimes
block.
the mail, sometimes, they just don't show up.
What?
Yeah.
No, hurricane, maybe.
No,
Hurricane.
no.
No. I mean, it's not 100% guaranteed that the mail.
I mean, nothing's 100% besides Hashem. I mean, nothing's, even the sun, it stopped twice in history. You know what I'm saying? But it's supposed to come. It's supposed to come. Okay. If he doesn't come, that's because even though you told him to do it, he didn't do it. But you're telling him to do it. Okay.
Listen,
The
you know
sun
what?
is that from the road for the mine to the gold. Then is that's one. The sun stop.
Stop with Yeshua and with Moshe Rabbeinu.
And what about the barrels for the mine? You know, for the I give you.
Yeah.
It's also regular too.
Yeah, I
Let me
think so.
ask you, just for this issue.
Yeah.
Put the envelope after you and I put the sticky note. You can pick it up on Monday. Come on Shabbos. You see the sticky note, but he decides to take it anyway. I'm serious. I'm serious.
You don't raise the flag. You leave it down.
You know why he said that, Rabbi? I'll tell you why he says
Mail,
that.
he will pick up.
I'll tell you why it says that. The mortgage you have to pay on that date, and if he doesn't take it by Saturday or Friday, then he will get penalty. It's lost money. So it's okay in that point.
Go to the mailbox. Put it in the mail. You know they have these things. They're called the mailbox. Big blue things. You open them up and put it in.
I got two choices: to bring Challah Shabbat home or to go to the mailbox.
Don't make theoretical questions. Make your life organized and put it in the
Put it on
mailbox.
Thursday.
That's it.
That's it.
No, but put note for him to let him know that pick it up on Monday. You can take it on Monday. Does it help?
I don't know if that's
He
acceptable.
may leave it for Monday,
Oh,
Rabbi.
actually, there's a-
You have an
don't
Eruv.
pick up to-
You have an
don't
Eruv.
pick up
You don't
to-
need an Eruv.
He will leave it for Monday, Rabbi. I'm not kidding. If the mailbox see that, they will leave it.
I don't know.
Okay, don't talk to for the mailman. You don't work in the post office.
I don't know. I don't know
He
what
will not touch it.
the law is. What the law is. What's he supposed to do as far as his job is concerned? If his job, according to his job, he has to take it, then it's a problem. I'm saying if, despite the note, according to the job, he has to take it, according to the regulations of the post office, I don't know. If he doesn't have to, then maybe it's okay.
Okay.
I don't know.
Kita is halacha, do
Ask
not
him.
put it in period.
No,
That's
next
it.
time the mailman comes, you ask him. Tell him, I have this envelope. If I put a sign on it, do you have to take it or not? That's what I'm saying. Why not? I do it all the
There
time.
happens
It's a
to be a
machaya.
from Rav in town, Rabbi
Yes.
Hadar,
Yes,
who's also a lawyer, and who was a lawyer for the U.S. Postal Service.
yes.
So
So you should know.
reach out to him.
Okay. Now, we're just starting.
Resh Nun Bet, Bet.
Reish Nun Beis Beis. But before we do that, I want to discuss two truvas of Rav Moshe about Maris Ayin and Chashad, since Rafael.
There's also a question asked here about putting it in a public mailbox.
Which Yaakov was asking. Yes, you can put it in a public mailbox, even somewhere like Hashecha, even in a religious neighborhood. Anybody?
Because it's outside in the street.
Can you put a piece of mail into
Yes.
a public mailbox
Yes.
on your way to shul on Friday afternoon?
Yes.
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 You walk into shul.
Yes,
No. Before Shabbos.
Oh,
No. On Shabbos you can't mail. You can't mail on Shabbos. You can't mail on Shabbos. You're
Yes,
telling it to
Rabbi.
work on Shabbos.
Yes, Rabbi. I'll tell you why.
From your own, because this takes specific yours, so it's mixed up with others, so it doesn't take specific yours. It just takes the whole bunch.
In general,
Yes.
You know, the Goy and the Jewish, you just take everything together. You know, so it's not
Makes
like
sense.
Amirah.
he's not making a special stop just for your mail, unless
It's the same thing.
a mail in there. You open it anyway.
It's the same thing with the electric.
Okay,
With the electric, Rabbi, when it's off.
And it actually is an interesting shaila. It is an interesting shaila. It has nothing to do with a religious neighborhood. Hey, 1 second, it's an interesting shaila because if it's already after the collection time, let's say collection time is at 5, okay? And you put it in on the way to shul. Shul nowadays is what, 5:20? So you put it in 5:15, and the collection time tomorrow is also 5, which is still Shabbos. You're telling him to do it on Shabbos, but it's together with everything else. So it's a question of marba b'shiurim. It's a question of marba b'shiurim. That's what it is, right? He's carrying anyway, but he's going to carry something extra for you. That's a machlokes rishonim of Seras Rabbanan. The whole thing of in other words, a person who's carrying anyway. This is a practical thing. A person's going to the hospital anyway. His wife is having a baby, whatever, and there are certain things you're allowed to take because she needs it. You're allowed to throw in something extra, siddur, tehillim. Yeah, you don't need it, but you want it. You're allowed to throw something in. So that's a shaila.
But that's on Shabbos, but this is we're talking about Erev Shabbos, even though.
I understand, but you're telling him to do it on Shabbos. What are you telling him to do? You're telling him to do an extra amount of carrying. He's carrying anyway for everybody else. All the other mail in the mailbox.
And
You're not telling me exactly.
You are. You're instructing him by putting it in
But I
after
understand.
5.
It's not even in your property.
After 5, it's not your property, but you're telling him to take it because you're putting it in a box that's going to be emptied on Shabbos.
Rabbi, I will give you from Bet. מותר לתת בגדיו לכבס לפני שבת. שהוא מכבס בשבת. So what's the difference here if you put on a box and on a mail is
No, the difference is that when you tell him to wash it, you're not telling him to do it on Shabbos. You're telling him to do whatever he wants. But here, because the pickup time is on Shabbos, you are telling him to do it.
I don't know if it's a pickup on Shabbos.
It says on the box. Every mailbox says pickup time.
I don't read English.
It's not in English. It's in numbers. The numbers, they use them in Israel
More
too.
practical, UPS and stuff like that. They always collect them.
The way she's going, there's no error. Like if there's an error, we can.
Exactly. If there's an error, there's no problem.
If it's a roof. In the mailbox, it's in Johnson.
What do you say?
So
In a way,
we don't have
you
a
have
roof.
kind of enough from the halachas that Goy is doing for you. Not directly, but still.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. If you take it at 6, at 7,
Rabbi, if we have a roof, it's no problem.
there is no problem.
But he is going outside.
Okay, so what you're saying is if I put a letter in on Arab Shabbos and the mailman picks it up on,
So
I'm not hearing you.
it's
1 second,
if you have a roof.
please. Go ahead, Yaakov, one more time. I mean, not Yaakov. Daniel, go ahead one more time.
Really
I just wanted to confirm. So if you put the letter in on Erev Shabbos, the mailman picks it up on Shabbos. As long as there is an Erev, then it's okay for you to do it. But if there's no Erev, then you can't do it.
If there's no Erev, we're trying to figure it out. In your mailbox, you cannot. Seems to me. The question is in the general mailbox, where he's not doing it specifically for you, but he is adding to the load because of you.
It's going to be outside. Look at it both ways.
So you're adding to the load either way if there's an Erev or not. So the question is, you said the Erev, there's no problem. If there is an Erev.
If there's an Erev, there's no malacha.
Oh, okay.
Somebody's got to put their computer on mute. Please put your computer on mute. There's too much noise in the background. All right, mute. You're all muted. Sorry. Ask any question by writing it, please. Thank you. So, I'm not sure.
none of the
I don't see it here. I don't see it here. I'm sure somebody discusses it, but I don't see it at this moment.
they had a mail a long time ago?
They had mail a long time ago, but I don't know if they had mail boxes.
But there's a
Probably,
Jewish
yeah.
man. It was going awesome.
The mailbox is something new. Okay, so
Bailey, can you take him to vote, please? Maybe. Do you think you might be able to take him to vote on your way out?
The things that I discussed with you yesterday. You asked about Maris Ayin, and I said that Reb Moshe says the Maris Ayin is only what Chazal decided, and it's not quite so simple, actually. Not quite so simple at all. So first of all, there's a difference between Chashad and Maris Ayin. Reb Moshe writes in the Chuvas, and that's the thing Yaakov sent me, which I forgot to send out. Basically, Maris Ayin is when the Chachamim said that if people see you doing this, it's going to lead them to be mezalzel in that thing.
They may do it worse.
They may do it themselves. I think it's not so bad. If he did it, can't be that bad. That's Maris Ayin. Chashad is where they're not going to come to do it themselves, but they'll suspect that you did it, and you're causing them to be choished another Jew, which is forbidden. That's the pasuk v'yisem nekiyim. For that, he uses the pasuk v'yisem nekiyim. I'm sorry? I have it on my computer. Wow, what does he say?
Should be allowed to put in the mailbox.
Oh, yeah? Even right before Shabbos.
Because like the stems, like Kimisha Ketzet Dama, it's always in the Mishnah Pura, like Kapatayim,
Right, but what about the fact that he may take it on Shabbos itself? Not he may, he will definitely take it on Shabbos itself.
Doesn't mean that the whole just mean the cover.
Let me look it up in a second.
What was this question?
So the Shmir Shabbos allows it. Which, Lamed Aleph Sef Chaf. The new print here.
we're Rishon Zayin?
No, Rishon Beis.
Rishon Bet.
Lamed Aleph Sif Chaf.
Yeah, this was the thing. I don't know what it's called, yeah.
Mutter l'shal shal b'chutz la'os mutter l'tich der be'er Shabbos kam im Or shemachtav yovei lamane b'Shabbos. Was l'shloch b'Shabbos Samach Gimel. Seven from Zayin Sefez Mishnah verse of Gimel. Ayin Shabbos im Alachlim Ivdei Da Yehuda v'Mechon Shabbos. Ish from Zayin Aleph Mishnah verse Gimel. Ish from Zayin Aleph. I mean, I hear what he's saying, but it's not clear in the Mishnah Berurah. What he's basically saying is that you're not telling him to take it on Shabbos. Okay, I hear it, but then you can make the same argument on the taking it from your house. What he's saying is, what Shmir Shabbos is saying, is that because you're not sending an express, as far as you're concerned, he doesn't have to collect it on Shabbos. It says he's going to come at 5 p.m. I didn't ask him to. I put a regular stamp. Regular stamp means it could come in 3 days. As far as I'm concerned, he could take the day off. I know he's not going to take the day off. That's his choice. Understand? That's what he's saying.
So how I know?
1 second, but based on that, you could say the same thing in your own mailbox. Maybe. I mean, I asked him yesterday. He said no. But I'm saying to say the same argument is, I'm putting it out there, but I'm not telling him to take it today. Okay, but he doesn't have to, as far as I'm concerned. As far as the one stamp doesn't say. Why not? If you're allowed to, why not? You're allowed to, why not? That's the question.
Rabbi, how I know on Friday what time is coming?
Because you saw him leave already.
No, I don't see him leaving.
I'm talking about if you did. That's the question.
Okay, that's the question. If you don't see him, it's okay because he will come soon.
Yeah, I think so.
It's okay for
Okay.
you to come and pick up your garbage Shabbos, but not your mail.
On the street when you put it in the mail, it smell, it's different halakha.
Yeah, same. We have an area. What do you say? Garbage.
If they go
You put the garbage on Friday.
You put it Friday, you clean up and you put the garbage.
He did not take it Friday, he come on Saturday. This is his choice.
Same thing as we did
His
last
choice.
Let's assume that's it comes scheduled to pick up.
construction.
What?
We saw that. We saw that, yeah.
So
Rabbi,
why
I
not
put
let
on Friday, he did not take it on Friday, he come on Saturday. His choice to come on Saturday. Right, Rabbi?
The garbage is for sure a Kablan.
Yeah, but the postman doesn't work for you. It works for the
The postman is also a Kablan.
Yeah,
He's also a cop.
You don't pay the guy, you don't. It doesn't work for you.
Especially if it says that the kid says
That's what I invited about the garbage.
By putting a stamp, it's like you agree on,
Taking your garbage out, you.
so why should we even allow them to personal putting a stamp? It's not like you're putting without a stamp and then they take it and they're gonna charge you. Putting a stamp is like.
Are you allowed to put garbage out for the garbage man to take if they do collections on Shabbos? Again, in a place without an Eruv. Place without an Eruv. The question is,
Didn't we see that as well a couple days ago?
no, we did not. We saw that the Goyim will come to clean the Jewish streets. There is a minhag to allow them to do it because everybody knows that it's BeKablanus. And a place that has such a minhag, you don't have to stop them. But you should not initiate that minhag. That's what we said. That's what we said.
ובזמננו בכל המקומות צריכים לתושבים לשלם לעירייה מס מיוחד ובאים הפועלים המעסקים על ידי העירייה במכוניות ואוספים את ההשפעה ובחוץ לארץ עושים כן גם בשבת ובחובות שהיהודים גרים בהם, אין צריך למחות בידם כלל.
אבל what's the סבר?
עכשיו זה המתין הפוסקים לחלקו אם מותר לפנות את ההשפעה בשבת על ידי גויים ומקבלים שכרם לפי קבלנות.
I understand, but the issue is here. The issue here is everybody knows that it's kablanus, right?
Yes.
Everybody knows that it's a kablanus. The issue is here is that when you put it out there on Friday afternoon, and you know they collected it already on Friday, you know they're not coming again till Shabbos, and you know they're supposed to come on Shabbos, so why is it not like you're telling them to come and to take it on Shabbos? Kablanus, you cannot tell them to take it on Shabbos. Unless you say, just like in the case of the mail, which the Shmir Shabbos is saying, you put it in there. I'm not telling him to take it on Shabbos. He's choosing to take it on Shabbos. Meaning to say the city is the one that's sending him to take it on Shabbos. I happen to know he's going to come. I happen to know this is his job to come, but I'm not telling him to. Just like the mail. I happen to know, right? The mailbox says 5 o'clock and it's now 5:15. So I know that he came early today and I know he's coming tomorrow at 5, but I didn't tell him to. So based on that, it should the same source should apply to the mail, but the same source should also apply to the garbage. But the same source should also apply to a mail in your own mailbox, based on this.
Didn't we give a chiluk over here in garbage off, and then it's not your property anymore?
So we should have taken it before.
You're right. Because already you didn't להוציא את ההשפעה מחוץ לביתם כל מה שלו.
Yeah, if you put it in the street, it does not belong to you anymore, Rabbi. You put it on the.
I mean, they don't always let you. There's certain rules about where the garbage is supposed to be. If it's supposed to be on your property and you put it in the street, you could get a ticket, vice versa. Or not, you won't get a ticket. You just won't take it.
On the grass, right on the street, before the street, right on the edge, and he's coming and he's picking it up like this, you know. So it's this grass basically is belong to the city, but we helping him to cut the grass because this is the rule of the city.
Yeah, after the sidewalk, usually that's what it is. Yes, the city's.
Yeah, there's usually a few feet that belongs to the city. Okay, let's go. We were discussing about Marasan versus Chashad. So coming back to Marasan, which Moshe says is more strict than Chashad, because Marasan encompasses both. It causes a zilzal, and it also causes people to suspect. So you have both issues. Because as an employee, he doesn't have a choice to take it or not to take it. No, I'm saying it's okay because you're not telling him to take it. Even though as an employee, he has to take it, but that's the employer's telling him, not you're telling him. That's based on the Shmir Shabbos about mail, so it seems. Okay, so coming back to what we're saying. So the tshuva that I was referring to yesterday, where he says Maras Ayin, I thought he said Maras Ayin, only applies to what Chazal said. Maras Ayin. The tshuva that I said yesterday is actually based on the question of shetels. Why is there no gzeira? Why is there no gzeira about women wearing shetels? Why is that not Marasayan? That's the tshuva. That's where Moshe is addressing that in the tshuva. So he says basically, since there are proofs from the Gemara that a woman is allowed to wear shetel, I know there are poskim that disagree. They must have another pshat in the Gemara, but he's following the majority of Ashkenazi poskim who allow it, and he says that there are proofs in the Gemara that it's not Marasayan. So therefore, since we see that Chazal allowed it, we are not going to, on our own, say that it's Maras Ayin. So that line, we're not going to on our own say it's Maras Ayin, is talking about a case where Chazal allowed it. You understand? He's not saying a klal. We're not going to make new Maras Ayin. We're going to say we're not going to make a new Maras Ayin about what Chazal knew about. And we see that they didn't make Maras Ayin. And he even tries to explain why they didn't make it. He says, first of all, it's not an assay, it's not a lois assay, it's just an assay, the thing of tznias for women. And then he says that most cases, it's not as strict, Assay in general is not as strict.
What sense of the...
In many ways. I mean, you have to spend a fifth of your money to be Mekayim and assay. But to not do a lois assay, you have to spend everything you own. And in terms of punishments also, there's no assay that has any punishment besides Bris Milah and Pekabon Pesach. Mrs. Leisa say are full of punishments. I'm just saying it's not as strict. So also he says that in most cases there's not Maras Ayin. People can tell the difference. Women especially can tell the difference. Men shouldn't be looking anyway. So that's his thing. But we see in another tshuva where he says clearly that Maras Ayin applies to things that Chazal didn't have in the time Chazal. For example, about an actual kosher restaurant, he discusses the fact, a non-kosher restaurant, he discusses the fact that you should not go in there to eat something kosher. They sell some kosher products, you should not go in there. Unless it's a case where it's a very great need, and even then, only if there's nobody around, and if there are some people around that you have to tell them why you're going in. The whole thing. And he also talks about the Maras Ayin of going into
What about restrooms?
I don't know. He doesn't discuss that. I don't know.
I grew up, not right, nothing. That every person saying, I want to go into restrooms, non-kosher places, because
Right.
just the way people think of things.
Yeah.
If you're emergency and you're going to do the pets,
Usually
what are you going to do?
pregnancy and the kids need to go, I tell them what you go. The woman walking with the kids to go to the bathroom is different. It doesn't.
I don't know. He also has said there's a true about going into a Orthodox shul that is in a conservative or reform building. So the conservative have a shul, temple, whatever it's called, and they have a minyan. So he's not happy about it. Certainly in a case where it's not known that there's an Orthodox minyan there. Even if it is known, he's not happy about it because people might think you're going to the main minyan there, which is not Orthodox.
He allowed. It's not different shul that he writes about a conservative shul. He allows going into a conservative shul for a simcha. Even the shul.
For a simcha?
Yeah.
Okay, that's not the same as for davening.
Oh.
Not the same. It's not the same.
I think you're allowed to be there.
Not the same. Not the same. Anyway, the point. It's not. I mean, it's not the same Maras Ayin. It's not the same Maras Ayin. You're not going for a davening.
I'm walking inside. I see everybody praying over there, and then what I said.
Okay, it's not the same. It's not the same. His point is that he has another very, very strong point, is that if they built it with the intention of giving that room to an Orthodox shul, so they basically planned on that income from that rent. So by participating in that, you're actually participating in supporting them and their whole institution, which is not run according to the Torah. So he's against that, actually.
It's appalling to think that people. I mean, I think Rav Moshe allows it since he said you're allowed to go in, but to even do a simcha for example, the conservative shul in the corner.
Exactly. Rav Moshe is against that. He doesn't want any financial support.
Yeah, I don't understand why we're supporting. By us doing our weddings there, we're showing them.
You're supporting them.
We're supporting them.
You're supporting
They have a catering home. We're supporting their catering home.
Exactly. When I grew up in California, and the head Chabad Shaliach there is a little bit of a fanatic, Rabbi Kunin. He takes things to an extreme. He's not the first one, but he's the head one. He takes things to an extreme, and it's not everybody can handle it. But when I was growing up, There was one shaliach who made a simcha in a conservative hall, sent out invitations. Like you got the invitation, he called him up. He said, "You're fired unless you change the location." He had to send out new invitations, not the whole new invitation, just a new little card. And then I came to Florida, and like everybody does, I was very surprised.
Many from social halls.
Why is it unfair?
If nobody would do it, then somebody would have to make a social hall.
Why is it unfair?
I'm not saying it's not. Well, you're asking me. I don't have to
For
explain.
those who say that it is.
I'm not-
they're allowed to do that.
But the conservative, if they come
The
in,
Rav go to a wedding.
I go there. I just don't. I would never do it there myself.
What's the difference? You're supporting.
I'm supporting.
You're a guest. You're a
What am I
guest.
supporting?
If no one went to the wedding, they wouldn't do the wedding.
That's
No, but most of
Yeah,
the
but they
time,
don't do it at weddings.
I had a Rav call me the day before my wedding and say, "I'm very sorry, I know you invited me to your wedding. I just realized it was a conservative shul. I want to come to your wedding, but I'm not going to come." I'm not saying
Okay.
that that's what everyone should hold.
It's not
Okay.
it's not like you
It's
have to
definitely
go to
supporting
the
shul when you go to the event.
It's not the same. It's not the same.
It's not definitely
conservative people, they come into the Orthodox,
I'm sorry.
conservative people, they come into the Orthodox place
Yeah.
and they want to rent it for a wedding, for stuff like that. It's okay?
That's not a problem.
A wedding is if it's two Jewish people marrying Jewish people. It's not. There's no issue.
But mitzvah, any mitzvah, or
Bar
any
mitzvah.
Conservative law works.
If they're doing a simcha, I don't see an issue. If they're doing a religious service, that's something else. If they want to do a mixed service, that you can't do. But if they're just doing a wedding, I mean, I don't. Supporting who? The chassan and kala are getting married. What can you do? What does it have to do? I don't understand what does it have to do. If Jews are marrying Jews, who cares if they wear a conservative lapel?
No, I'm talking about going to the shul. Some kind of shul.
Orthodox shul?
No, conservative shul.
Okay.
Something else.
I'm gonna ask a question.
Something else. Okay.
Everybody, which bracha we say only on Wednesday or on Thursday?
Bore Pereira, please.
Anyway, something to think about. Let's continue. I don't know.
What's
I think
question
Birchas
are you asking?
Hachama. I think Birchas Hachama is on Tuesday, no?
What's the question, Rabbi?
Birchas Hachama.
Which bracha on Wednesday?
No, Wednesday.
Only
Wednesday.
on
Wednesday.
Wednesday or Thursday.
Wednesday is Birchas Hachama. Birchas Hachama is only on Wednesday. Can't be on Thursday, but it's only on
So
Wednesday.
there's another.
Okay, let's continue. Okay, so we're learning Reish Nun Beis, and we're up to Siv Beis in the Mechaber. And then we'll do the Alter Rebbe. Umutter litin begadav l'chayves eni Yehudi v'eres la'abdan. You're allowed to give clothes to a non-Jew who is a washer person, or skins to a leather maker. What do you call that in English? I don't know. Pirsha uman shema'abed masakan oiris, tanner, I guess. Someone chashecha, close to dark. In kotzes le'damim, if you have a fixed financial arrangement with him. Oisha oisa oisa b'tevis hana.
Where are you reading from? I'm sorry.
Tevis hana. Tevis hana means that
What?
he knows he's not getting paid, but he's going to expect a favor back from you. That's the same as making a fixed price.
הוא חייב לך משהו. ואז הוא עושה את זה תמורה.
הוא עושה את זה בטובת ההנאה, פירושו that he knows he's not getting paid, but he knows you're going to give him something back in the future.
הוא חייב לי משהו, אז אני אומר לו, תעשה את זה.
גם זה במקום, yeah, if you already did something for him and he's paying you back, same thing.
Okay.
והוא שלא ימלא לעשות בשבס. You cannot tell him to do it on Shabbos. וגם שיעשה יהודי המלאכה בביתו. Also, a non-Jew has to do the malacha in his own house, as opposed to in the Jewish house. We said this already. Reish Nun Beis in the Mechaber. If he was not kotzet, also be'erev Shabbos, also on erev Shabbos. Okay, now the Mechaber does not say only erev Shabbos. This is a machlokes rishonim. If there was no ketzitza, meaning to say, if you gave it to the goy and you did not make a fixed price, and you did not say, I'm not going to pay you, but I'll owe it to you. I'll owe you a favor. That's the same as making a fixed price. If you did neither of the above, but he is expecting something back anyway, because he's not like your buddy that he does things for free for you. So that is more of a shlichus, where he's trying to, find favor in your eyes, so to speak, because he doesn't have a fixed price yet. So he's doing it more for you than for his price, and that's problematic. The Mechaber does not give you an allowance to do it on Thursday. However, the Ramah gives you a heter. He says it's only usher on Erev Shabbos, not on Thursday. The Alter Rebbe is going to explain the reason behind that. Okay. Teves Hano is a machlekes, but in practice we are makel with Teves Hano. We consider it the same as Ktsitsa. Now, if you saw him doing your work on Shabbos, if he was doing it b'Teves Hano, meaning to say that there was no fixed price, but he's doing it for a favor, you have to tell him not to do it on Shabbos. You gave it to him many days before Shabbos.
If he said okay and continue, so it's problem, it's no problem?
No problem, as long as you tell him.
There's three conditions over here. One is the kid said go down.
Yep.
One,
no. Kitzis Dam is the same as Teves Hano. Either one.
And
that's number two. Number three is not in the house of the Jew.
So it has to be one of the three, or it has to be all the three?
All of the three. To be mutter, it has to be all of the three. You have to have a fixed price, or Teves Hano, which is the same. That's a fixed price.
But it's not in the...
You didn't tell him to do it on Shabbos, and it's not in your home. Perfect. You have all the conditions.
Are we only talking about something?
No, I mean, the store considered as the house of the LeNochri.
It can't be in your house. It doesn't have to be in his house. It means it can't be in your house. It means instead of yours. It doesn't mean in his. What does it care? His house, his factory, whatever. It means it can't be in your house. That's the point.
Are we only talking about something that is intrinsically a malacha?
You can't pick up on Shabbos. They have dry cleaning services. They come and pick up and deliver. They cannot pick up on Shabbos. Friday, yes, as long as they leave your front door before the sun sets, like we said yesterday.
When you say leave your front door, you can't be putting it on your property outside.
He's talking about picking up. He's picking up your dry cleaning. Right. Friday afternoon, he's picking it up. As long as he leaves your house before Shabbos, it's fine.
But if it's something like you were talking before about garbage, where you put it, a lot of times you still leave it on your property. No offense, it's outside your house, but it's not on the street. It's not a problem.
I think it's okay. Personally, I think it's okay. Based on the discussions about mailboxes, I think it's okay. Although I still have to call Rabbi Wozner and ask him what the difference between that is and a piece of mail in the box. Both of them, he's coming on Shabbos.
Do you take in your garbage can after?
If there's an Erev.
If there's an Erev, you can take it out.
Yeah, if there's an Erev, this whole thing is for sure allowed. But yeah.
Mine they take it on Friday. Sometimes he doesn't show up.
Allowed to be brought out to that big garbage can. Why is it not muktzah?
Garbage could be muktzah. It could be the only have to take out garbage is if it's overflowing and it's disgusting to you. There's something called a graf shel re'i. When something is disgusting, you're allowed to get it out of the way.
And you don't allow to leave it outside because you're going to ticket and it's a problem.
No, once it's in your hand, you can put it where it belongs.
No. I mean, I put it on Friday. He's coming. I put it on Thursday. He's coming on Friday. Sometimes he doesn't show up on Friday. He's coming on Saturday.
Okay.
And my garbage is outside in the street. They can give you a ticket for that. So you're allowed to take the garbage empty inside your property.
Oh, the garbage can?
Yes.
The garbage can is not muktzah.
Oh.
An empty can is not muktzah.
Oh, okay.
The garbage bag is probably muktzah because it has all kinds of useless things in there.
Oh, I see. It's
But
just
the
smelling
garment-
and
Well,
stuff
say
like
it's
that.
svarim that since it has edible things that are
In order for it to not be muktzah, it would have to be a majority of things like that. I mean, maybe.
Just
I don't know.
smell, right? It's disgusting. But you
I
cannot
don't know.
live
Depends
in
what your
public.
garbage is. Depends what your
Sorry.
garbage is. You have to take a survey of your garbage. Find out. I'm not sure. Okay, my friends. Here comes a bit of information.
Rush to there or no? Rush into there? Yeah.
So here's a bit of information. 200, 400, 600,
Yeah,
800,
listen, listen.
10. Okay. So we'll stop at 10 to 10 for Meyerf.
See?
Unless you're leaving anyway, you might as well go to 10.
You could write the second time. It's good.
Okay. Okay, so here's the thing. We said yesterday you could give it to him on Friday afternoon. Go into the dry cleaners. Give it to him Friday afternoon. Tell him I need it on Monday morning. Why? Because his only day to do it is on Shabbos. But he can work on Sunday. He can work Friday night. He can work Matzah Shabbos. So many options. He can work Sunday night. Okay, the shop is closed. You can see the hours on the shop. Yeah, but that's his choice. He's choosing to close the shop. So that's what I said then. But I came across, they actually quoted in one of the notes here in the English, and I looked it up in this Sefer Amirah LeNochri, where they bring down from the Chemdas Shleima. I'm not really sure who that is, but it sounds like somebody important. Could be a Shleima Drimmer who wrote a lot of Sfarim. He was in the same, like mid-1800s. Anyway, he says that he doesn't address after hours, but he addresses Sundays. And he says if you give it to him in such a way that you ask him for it back at a time that he would have to actually work on Shabbos or Sunday to do it, and you know that he doesn't work on Sunday. In those days, I mean, Goyim used to be from in their religion. You know he doesn't work on Sunday. So he says you shouldn't give it to him because since the fact is you know he doesn't work on Sunday, so in other words, you tell him to do it on Shabbos. Based on that, there's Makom Lahachmer also with Friday night at Matzah Shabbos, 1 second, and Sunday night. You see the store says, open 8 to 5. And the workers go home. I mean, that's a fact. I mean, unless they pay them overtime, they're not working after 5. So you know that he's actually going to do it on Shabbos. Even though he doesn't have to, he could stay open. But he's not going to. Based on that Chemdas Shleima, it's not Pashut. Now he brings other opinions that are mekel on it, but it's not simple.
Over time, right now, it's Shabbat.
But you mentioned before
It's not simple. It's not simple. I'm sorry.
that he chose not to come. He could come.
I understand, but since
Not
you,
your problem in a way, because he physically had enough time.
that's what I thought yesterday. But he says that if you know for a fact that he's not going to do it, it's like you're telling him to do it on Shabbos. I'm just telling.
So it's going to be the same thing if you give
I know people who run their whole business at night, and during the day they just give it to the employees to run what they did at night. If there's a lot of work, they can work at night. You can work after hours. Just they don't want people coming in the store until that.
I don't know.
Isn't that similar to putting your garbage out on Friday? Because you know they're gonna pick it up on Shabbos. You know they're not gonna come on Sunday.
I have a question.
It's the same thing as the mail. You didn't tell him to do it. That's his choice. Here, you're bringing it into the post office, to the dry cleaners. You're saying, I need it on Monday.
Because you're saying if there's an error, there's no problem. But if there's not
If there's an error, there's no problem anyway.
Pardon?
Get that.
If there's an error, there's for sure no problem. Even without an error, I think it's okay. Because you're not telling him when to take it. That's his choice.
That's the schedule. That's why you put it out there.
Yeah, but that's his schedule based on his employer. That's not what you're telling him. That's his employer's telling him.
In other words, they're telling you that's the schedule rather than you telling them.
Right. He's not even paid by you. He's paid by the city.
It's your tax money that's paying.
I understand, but you're not his employer. If you tell him what to do, he's not gonna. Doesn't have to listen to you.
What happens if it's a very Jewish area? Does that make a difference?
If it's a majority Jewish and they run the council, then it's an interesting shaila.
Nebrak.
And it's an interesting shaila. If they actually have to hire and they have to tell the people when to come, and it's a majority Jewish, then it's a shaila.
They will not run on Shabbat.
Then it's definitely a shaila. It's problematic, not simple.
If there's a Jewish owned, that owns a dry cleaner, and it's open on Shabbos.
Yeah.
Can you give me your clothing? That's going to be picked up before we get after weekend.
So Rav Moshe says, I quoted this in the thing that I sent out. Rav Moshe discusses giving contracts to non-religious Jews when they may do the work on Shabbos. You have a business and you subcontract your work out, and you want to give it to a non-religious Jew who doesn't keep Shabbos. So Moshe says,
He's a Jew.
of course, he's a Jew just like any other Jew. So you have to, according to Moshe, you have to, first of all, you have to tell him not to do it on Shabbos. Even though there's a chance he won't listen to you, hopefully he will, because he wants to make his customers happy. And second of all, he says you should do it in the beginning of the week, so that it's more likely, at least, that he'll do it before Shabbos. So I would say a similar thing in the case of a dry cleaner. You shouldn't give it to him on Friday, because that's kind of, telling him to do it on Shabbos, even if his workers are goyim, but technically he shouldn't be employing them on Shabbos. You know what I'm saying?
Especially if he knows that it's closed on Sunday and you want to pick it up Monday.
Exactly.
If you know it was done on Shabbos, well, let's say, for example, a house of mine is being shown by a guy because there's a, let's say, keypad, a lockbox in front of the house. So then the Jewish realtor that I took, let's say, as an example, showed them the house on Shabbos, and now they want to buy the house.
But they have to have your consent for anything.
I mean, I wonder. First of all, your Jewish realtor, if he's not from, you should tell him not to show on Shabbos. But if it's already done b'diavad, I don't know if that's considered having hana from the malacha, because the showing of the house is not a malacha. I mean, it's most likely that he drove there. That's what I'm saying. You shouldn't let him do it. But that driving was not what you're benefiting from. You're benefiting from the showing, which is not really a malacha, just walking around the house.
You gave him the code, or you can get out of money. Or you can appointment, they gives you the access, and it's like a vending machine.
Yeah. Okay, my friends. We are continuing with Gimel and the Mechaber.
Can I ask a question? Am I audible?
If it is a well-known malacha, and it's known that it's a Jew's, and he's doing it in a public way, in a makom mefursam, in a public area, it's good to be strict and forbid it. The example, I'm in Reish Nun Beis Gimel on the Mechaber. The example in the olden days was if he's fixing a ship by the riverbank, and it's a Jewish-owned ship, people know who the owners are, and it is being done in a public way. So then there is the Maris Ayin issue, similar to the house. You can't let him work on your house, even though he's a kaplan, it's still a Maras Ayin. So here, it's not mamish the same because it's not actually your house, right? Still in a public area. So that's why it's only a toiv. Toiv lahachmadas. It's good to be strict and forbidden. So it's better to be strict. The practical application of this, according to the poskim I have seen, is that you should not give your car to a mechanic to fix. No, non-Jewish mechanic. Jewish mechanic. If he fixes it in an area that's visible to the public.
The Jewish public or any public?
I mean, if presumably Jews live in the area. Actually, it's an interesting question. I don't know. The case in which it says it's problematic is in a case where it's going to be visible to people, and therefore it's problematic because people might recognize that it's your car. Not to give it in such a way that he's likely to do it on Shabbos.
Rabbi, it's 441. It's
As long
nobody
as he
legal.
still has the car. Don't let him.
No,
Whatever
not
mechanic-
as long as he has. You shouldn't give it to him close to Shabbos in such a way that he's likely to do it on Shabbos. If you give it to him earlier in the week and he ends up doing it on Shabbos, it's not your problem, except if you see him, then you should stop him. But you don't have to be choishish he's going to do it on Shabbos. But you should preferably not give it to him in such a way that he's likely to do it on Shabbos. Now, the question is, what if you give it to a mechanic in a different area where people don't know that it's your car? There could be Jews there, but you don't live there.
It's
So-
441. Yeah, it's
On the way from LSC, there's a few mechanics.
it's no mechanic. Nobody live over there.
You leave your car over there.
Exactly. So I don't know. There might be Jews there. I'm sure there are, but they don't know you. They don't know you recognize your car. I don't know.
It's not orthodox if it's a 441 and what is the warehouse over there? You know.
Yeah, even non-Orthodox people are Jewish, and they might know about Shabbos, but they don't know you. They don't know your car.
He's doing sin by driving, as you know me.
That's something else. Doesn't make a difference. It's a separate thing.
Dalet?
Okay, Dalet. Kol shekotzatz, al pi sheyaseh ein yidei melech b'Shabbos. If there was a ktzitza, even though he's doing it on Shabbos, what do the Yisrael b'shakli b'Shabbos atzma? The Jew is allowed to even wear it on Shabbos. So the guy delivers the dry cleaning. He delivers the dry cleaning on Shabbos. It's a delivery service. He delivers it on Shabbos.
Wait. Out of the phone.
Not out of the tchum. In the tchum.
With arrow.
No Erev. No Erev.
In this one.
It's in the tchum.
Doesn't mention over here, it's full, not full, just say in general, so.
The Alter Rebbe mentions it. Alter Rebbe adds. So are you allowed to benefit from that work that he did on Shabbos? You know for a fact that let's say you know for a fact that he did on Shabbos. You gave it to him Friday afternoon, and he delivers it on Shabbos. And you didn't ask him to do it, but he did it. Are you allowed to benefit from that work?
I think
We know that you cannot benefit from work that a Jew does for you on Shabbos. But maybe this is not considered doing for you because there was katzatz. It was a fixed amount.
Are you actually there from Melacha or just from the result, basically?
I mean, you're going to put on the shirt. You're going to put it on.
Yeah, but the shirt himself, it's nothing wrong with just the shirt.
Oh, you mean it was a shirt before he washed it too?
Yeah. Sure.
You're getting hana from a clean shirt.
Rabbi, we learned that. I think so. If it's only the clothes he has, he may. But right, something like that.
Actually, you're not wrong, but we didn't learn it yet.
We learned that.
Maybe you saw it.
No. If I said so, I know we mentioned that.
I don't know if we mentioned it, but we're going to see that. We're going to see
I
that.
have no idea about that. Only from you, Rabbi.
Maybe you do. Baruch Hashem. Maybe begilgul hakodem. The kol shekotzas adaita b'nafshei kovid. The Mechaber says that you're allowed to benefit because, I mean, the truth is, honestly, what you're saying, Ronnie, I'm not sure about. I think washing it is the same as making it, but it's not actually the case he's talking about. He's talking about a case where he actually made it for you. He made, like in those days, they used to tailor suits for people. Like he made the suit or he made the shoes. It's not the same as washing it. Could be different, I'm not sure. Anyway, let's see the Ramah. Okay, but the point of the Mechaber is that because he had a fixed amount that he's getting paid, so he's not considered doing it for you. So therefore, you're not benefiting from work done for you. You're benefiting from work that he did for himself, so to speak.
Yep.
Yes,
I have a question.
I'll put you off mute.
Hello?
Go ahead. Yes, what do you want to say?
Yeah, here's a question. This actually happened to me a number of years ago. I needed some glasses, and so I paid for them ahead of time, and they were I think they were delivered. It's all within Los Angeles. They were delivered to the eye doctor's office, I think on Friday or Saturday, but it was next to the shul, so I went in and just picked up the glasses on Shabbos. But they were already done. Was that okay?
You have your room?
Or you nail
Yeah.
glasses. You just put on your glasses like that.
Yeah, there was an Arab, but yeah. But it was okay to go pick them up there on Shabbos. It was already paid for, so I guess that was the katsitsa.
Question: if he's opened the store for you?
No, the store was open.
That's not simple. It's not simple. Alter was going to say you can't go into a store on Shabbos to pick up what he made for you.
Uh-huh.
What's happening if he bring it to you, Rabbi?
That itself is Marasai.
If he bring it to you, it's okay?
If he brings it to you, I think it's okay. I mean, based on the Mechaber's opinion, the Ramah is going to say maybe you can't wear it. Depends if you need it. He's maker, like you said, but that's all if he brings it to you. But you can't actually walk into the store. Alter is going to explain it.
So I also had a question a little earlier.
Yeah, go ahead.
The examples brought seem to be things which intrinsically involve a malacha, like tanning leather.
Yes.
What about things that don't necessarily intrinsically involve malacha? So, say having a cleaner clean something in your house. So I know that it's common for shuls and houses to have cleaners and they clean, and occasionally they'll do the washing up in a way that we wouldn't do the washing up, but that's okay because it's their choice to do it that way for their own convenience. We don't tell them to use a sponge.
Right.
But they prefer to. So I'm trying to understand if we know someone is going to do a malacha with something, but it's not intrinsic, is that different to giving them leather?
It is different because there is room to be lenient in that case, even in your domain. All that we're discussing now is when it's intrinsically a malacha and there's no heter to allow him to do it in your domain, only outside of your domain. But if it's not intrinsically a malacha, there's room to allow it even in your domain, as we're going to see.
Okay, so we'll get to that later.
Yes, that's the plan.
Wait patiently.
It's Hashem. Okay. Some forbid wearing it if you know that the goy finished it on Shabbos. So what's the Shabbos Kodesh Yas? You have to wait till after Shabbos Kodesh Yas. You should be noig lechatchila, the Ramah says, like the Mechaber, don't wear the suit or the shoes or whatever it is he finished on Shabbos. But if you need it on Shabbos, you could be mekel and follow the lenient opinion. Now, if it's a suffix, you don't know when he finished it. Could be he finished it before Shabbos. Then you could be mekel b'chol inyan. Now, in general, by the way, when it comes to things that are aser, or asas lafta Shabbos, in general, we are machmir on their suffix because it's a principle of davar sheish l'matirin. Anything that will become mutter later, we are strict on the suffix, even though it's only an isid rabban, right? Benefiting from the work that a goy did for us is only a rabbinic violation. Chum said, don't benefit because you may ask him. So you could say, well, if it's a doubt, So it's a safek d'Rabbanan l'kula. We should be lenient on a doubt. No, generally we say davar sheyesh matirin is usher in a case of a doubt, even if it's a safek d'Rabbanan. If it's davar sheyesh matirin, we're machmer. We say wait benefit after the time that it may be usher. Right? That's the case usually when it comes to this sort of question. However, over here, because there are some that are mekel completely and say you're allowed to wear it in general, so if there's an additional doubt that maybe it was done before Shabbos, we are going to be lenient.
This is exactly when someone did on Shabbat on the food, like he moved it and he put it back by accident or something like that. This food is not allowed, but if it's the only food he has, then material also. It's the same.
I mean, there are similarities, but it's not the same reason. Not the same reason. Over there, even in a case when it's actually usher min adin to benefit from it, and there's no argument about it. Nevertheless, if it's your only food for Shabbos, the Chachamim are not going to be strict because they want you to have a Shabbos meal. Over here, we're saying that because it's a machloikis, we're going to rely on the lenient opinion in the case of need. So, similar maskana, but for a different reason. Okay. לכל זה וכן משס לישראל, עלינו לשוסה מנהלם על המקח, מותר לישראל המכיר לילף ליקף ממנו בשבס ולנהלם, ובעד שלא יקצסים מדמי המקח. Now, this is all if he made it for you. But if he made it to sell to the public, you're allowed to get it from him on Shabbos. Obviously, you can't do a regular business transaction, but you get it from him by hinting to him that you'll take care of it after Shabbos. You know, there are words that you say in Siman Shin Chaf Gimel, which is a siman that's not on the agenda of this course, but it discusses there how you're allowed to buy things on Shabbos.
Is this like going into a pharmacy and picking up medicine where they know that Jews come in and get that?
Exactly. You can't say the word buy, you can't say the word pay. You just say, I'll take care of it after Shabbos.
Okay.
Or whatever.
And
so one second, let me finish. So the point is, over here, you're allowed to get the pair of shoes because he didn't make it for you. He made it to sell. So why not? Lakasha. Yes.
And Yossi case, when he said about he's going to the store, he's not going inside, from outside. He can wait for him or something and to bring it outside?
Going into a store is problematic, but maybe for the purpose of medicine, we can be makel. Let's wait. The Alter Rebbe discusses going into a store, so let's wait with that. Okay. I mean, actually, reading the Mechaber, he doesn't differentiate. Reading the Ramah, he doesn't differentiate between a store and not. Let's see if the Mishnah Berurah goes into that. 1 second. Yeah, the Magen Avraham says, yeah. Mishnah Berurah brings it down also. We'll see in the Alter Rebbe. Okay. Let us learn the Alter Rebbe Reish Nun Beis. ריש נון בייס, יש לך ריש נון בייס שמה?
מותר להתחיל?
כן, אבל אנחנו לא מתחילים מההתחלה. אנחנו מתחילים מגימל.
גימל, מותר למכור.
מותר למכור, exactly. All right, Rabbi Isai, here we go. Gimel and Alter Rebbe. Mutter למכור LeNochri. ולהתיני המקח שם לך שכל. ובלבד שיצא בסר בייסם המקח מבוי יום. You're allowed to sell to a guy, load him up with the stuff that you sold to him, near dark, as long as he leaves your house with his purchase while it's still day, even in a city with an Eruv. What's that? It should say even in a city without an Eruv. What does that mean? Oh, this prerequisite is, okay, fine, got it. Even if it has an Eruv, you still have to make sure he leaves your house before Shabbos. That's what he means. Like we said, Reish Menvav. Because of the Maras Ayin, that people might think you sold it to him on Shabbos. Even if you already designated a room in the house or in your yard where you should leave it before Shabbos, and now he comes and Shabbos take it to his house. So you might say that it should be allowed because it's like in his domain, because you gave him a section, so it's like his domain. No. Don't let him take it till after Shabbos. Unless he's a strong man, he's a mafia guy, and he says, "Give me my stuff. I don't want any monkey business," and you're afraid he might hurt you, then you're allowed to let him take it, even if you had no yichud mokaim, because it's only marasayin, and they didn't make you, put yourself in danger for marasayin. Okay, Dalet. You're allowed to give your clothes to a washerman who's not Jewish or a tanner to make it into leather near dark BeKablanus. Now, the Mishnah Berurah adds one point here, as they wrote in the notes, that you have to give it to him in such a way that he leaves your house before Shabbos, like we said before. Because otherwise, just like there's marasayin that it might be thought that you sold it to him on Shabbos, it might be thought that you gave it to him to work on Shabbos, right? Which is awesome. All kablanus you have to give in before Shabbos. And the guy can do it on his own, even on Shabbos. The Jew cannot tell him to do it on Shabbos. You cannot tell him to do it on Monday or Sunday. And you know that he cannot finish it then, unless he works it on Shabbos also. Telling him to have it ready on Sunday or Monday, if the only way he can do that is to do it on Shabbos, is like telling him to do it on Shabbos. If he didn't tell him anything. And the guy does it on his own on Shabbos. You don't have to stop him. The guy is not doing it for you. If he does it on Sunday, he's also fulfilling his condition. The Jew never told him to do it on Shabbos. So he's doing it on his own to finish the job. If he doesn't do it on Shabbos, he'll have to do it on Sunday. He'll do it on Monday. He wants to clear up his day, so he'll have time for other stuff. That's his choice. Now he'll have more time tomorrow. So that's his choice, and he's not your shaliach. Hey, that's only if he's doing his own house, or Shalmeirani. This was your question. It doesn't have to be his house. It could be somebody else's house, as long as it's not the Jewish house. Then it's not clear that it's the Jews' work. You can't let him do it in a Jewish house. Then it will be clear that it's Jewish work. And therefore they may suspect that he gave it to them on Shabbos, or they might think that the goy is a schir yoim, and not a kablan, like we said in Reish Mem Daled.
Based on this, I asked you regarding the delivery. The truck is coming from New York. They're picking up on Friday and they're arriving on Sunday. You don't tell them, but physically, if it doesn't arrive on Shabbos, there's no way you're gonna have the stuff on Sunday morning.
And you tell him that you need it on Sunday, or he's doing it on his own to have it on Sunday.
I don't remember. Could be.
If you tell him that you need it on Sunday at a certain time, whatever, and the only way for him to get it there is to drive on Shabbos, it's a problem. It's a problem. I don't know. I don't have an answer. I don't know. Okay. We continue and we say. He doesn't mention something else that he mentioned in Reish Mem Daled.
You ask him when you're coming, so you're going to be around Sunday noontime, Sunday morning. So you tell you already that it's going to be by Sunday.
Okay, but he told you didn't tell him?
But He knows that for sure he's driving on Shabbos.
But you didn't tell him. He told you.
But over here, even so, you don't tell him.
No, here you told him. Here you told him you needed it on Sunday or Monday, and only wait for him to do this on Shabbos. If you didn't tell him at all, and he tells you, "Oh, by the way, I'll have it ready on Sunday morning," that's his choice. The truth is that Reb Shlomo Zalman discusses it in the Shmir Shabbos. Shlomo Zalman discusses: you bring it to the dry cleaner, you don't tell him when you want it, and you say, "When will it be ready?" Sunday morning. Okay, thank you very much. Reb Shlomo Zalman says maybe it's okay. He doesn't say for sure. He says maybe it's okay. It's for why it's okay is because you didn't tell him, he told you. Even though, according to what he told you, he has to do it on Shabbos. But it was his choice. So, I don't know. Sounds good. I like his maybe.
So you're not giving him the option. If
You are giving him the
No,
option.
I'm saying, if you say, I want this by Sunday.
If you say, then
yes,
it's a
or
problem.
Shabbos, yeah.
But if you don't say, and he says, okay, he decided. He decided. That's his choice.
So it's better to say, call me when you're done.
If you want to make sure, yeah. Exactly. Or you could just say, okay, Sunday's good. I mean, if you want Monday, is also fine. You could, you could say that.
Next year too.
No. Okay, we continue and we say, I'm just noticing that Alter Rebbe doesn't say something he mentioned in Reish Mem Daled, which is that if it's in your house, there's another problem, that you may forget and tell him to do it on Shabbos. You understand? He said in Reish Mem Daled, he doesn't say it. That's what I'm noticing. He doesn't mention it here. No, the massive note is a very interesting note, but I don't see him saying that. It's a nice note. It's worth reading. I just want to go back to Reish Mem Daled and see what he says about telling him to do it on Shabbos. Go vote, says Google. Too late, sorry.
How important is it in Florida that the Republicans get in? I noticed your message yesterday.
It is so important, I'm telling you. There are a lot of Jewish schools that are going to be in big trouble if the Democrats win. Them should help.
What are the Democrats doing? I don't understand.
They have a program here that pays the private schools like $6,000 per child that the Republicans pushed through and have been doing for a number of years now. The Democrats are against it.
How many years?
For 12th grade.
Right now, DeSantos is ahead.
4 years. Oh, he is? Wow. Baruch Hashem.
1%.
1%. That's all we can expect. Can't expect more than 1% in Florida. DeSantos is ahead by 1%. Shkoyach. Well done.
When?
Only up 1%?
In Florida, it's going to be tight.
It's very scary that people would even vote for this Gillum guy. He's like he's crazy.
He's not crazy. He's just liberal.
No, but he's has ties with like really anti-Jewish organizations.
That's the left wing nowadays all over the world.
Yeah.
They'll go till late at night until they still counting.
So is the thinking that it shouldn't be going to private Jewish schools, that funding should only go to state schools with a state agenda?
Public schools, exactly.
Right.
Well, I'm in 246. That's not a problem. 1 second. I was looking at the wrong Siman. 244 is what I need. Okay, that was it. I was missing the vav. Okay, I was missing the vav. In Reish Mem Dalet, he said he can't do it in a Jewish house and can't tell him to do it on Shabbos. It's two different things. Understand? I thought that one of the reasons he can't do it in a Jewish house is because you may forget and tell him to do it on Shabbos. That's not what it is. The reason he can't do it in a Jewish house is because it's Marasayim. In addition to that, another condition is you have to make sure not to tell him to do it on Shabbos.
I thought, Rabbi, Jewish house, if the Goy do a melacha, it's like we do that.
No, it's not like you do it because he's a Kablan. He's a Kablan. He's not getting paid by the day, getting paid by the job, and a Kablan is not a Shaliach. But because people don't know, they might think he's a Schir Yom, and therefore you can't let him do it in your house on Shabbos.
Like to build a house?
To build a house, exactly. You can't build your house on Shabbos, and you can't do any work in your house. You can't do electrical work, you can't paint, you can't fix the AC, none of that.
Okay. So that's why if he does that, it's like you're doing that.
No, it's Marasayan. It's not like you're
only
doing
for Maradaim?
It's only Marasayan because you're paying him by the job. A Kablan who's paid by the job is not a Shaliach. But in your house, people might think that he is a Schir Yom, and therefore it's also.
If I said to go, turn the light on Shabbat, he turned the light.
No, if you tell him, then it's actually also.
I did that. No?
If you tell him, I was talking about if you didn't tell him. If he came, you hired him, and he chose to come on Shabbos. But if you tell him to do it on Shabbos, then it's an actual Isser. Then it's not just Marzayin, then it's an Isser, of course.
It's like I did that, right?
It's not the same. It's Isser Rabbanon. It's not like you actually did it, but it's Asad Rabbanon. Same thing. No. If it's a situation where it's so hot that people will get sick, so then it's allowed. Because you.
The only way of finishing it's like
Not simple. Not simple. Not simple. If it's Florida summertime, you know what I'm saying? There's makam lahat there because extreme heat can cause illness. But if it's wintertime, so the AC is just, it's nice to have AC, but you don't actually need it. It's not simple. I don't think it's allowed to let him work on Shabbos.
You guys have air conditioning in the winter?
What's winter? What's winter? We have no winter here.
In Florida, a lot of people use the AC in the winter. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's a very mild winter.
We have heating in the summer over here.
Okay. Yeah.
You should consider to come over.
Very good. Okay.
California is the best.
I hear you. My home state. Okay. We are continuing with Hey. The Medrum Memorim. No, I already said that, yeah? The middle of Hey. Afiluk Shamalacha Nasa B'Bayis Nachri. Even if the Malacha. No, I'm halfway through Hey. Okay, the rest of Hey I don't want to read.
Bring up the Siman.
Yes, he does. The rest of Hey I don't want to read because it's too complicated. I'm just going to tell it to you outside, okay? Here's what it is. The Alter Rebbe says that there are some that don't allow you to benefit from a situation where the only way, even though you didn't tell him to do it on Shabbos, but you only will benefit if he does it on Shabbos. You'll only benefit if he does it on Shabbos. The example is you're traveling on Motzei Shabbos. I think we gave this example last week or something. You're traveling on Motzei Shabbos and you need the suit fixed, mended, cleaned, made, whatever, for this trip. You're going to chasana. You need it. So even though you didn't tell him to do it on Shabbos, you give it to him. You hope he'll do it on Shabbos, and you want to pick it up on the way to the airport. So some say it's not allowed in that case, because even though you didn't tell him, but the fact is that you only benefit because it was done on Shabbos. If it wouldn't be done on Shabbos, you wouldn't get any benefit from it. You would leave without the suit.
So if I give him something on Monday, and on Friday afternoon I realize that I walk past and I see that it's still sitting there broken or ripped or whatever, and I know that because I need it Motzei Shabbos, he's going to be doing it on Shabbos, is it a problem?
That's exactly what we're talking about.
No, that's not exactly what we're talking about. That's not exactly what we're talking about. You gave it to him with time to do it before. I'm talking about when you gave it to him without time to do it before.
Yeah, I understand that.
He could have done it after, but because you didn't tell him to do it on Shabbos, but you're hoping that he's going to do it before. So and he does it before, so then it had to be done on Shabbos. For you to benefit, it had to be done on Shabbos. In that case, it could have been done before Shabbos. He chose to delay it.
And so then it's not a problem, even though I know he's going to do it on Shabbos and I need it done on Shabbos.
Correct, because you didn't tell him to.
So we don't allow to benefit on the time to make it, right? If I get it after Shabbat, so that I cannot benefit from that until the time. So if I travel to California.
That's not the question. That's not the question. Benefiting till after the time is not the question here, because by the time you get to California, you'll have time.
That's it.
That's not the question. The question is, can you pick it up? Can you take it from him, knowing that you only benefited from the fact that he did it on Shabbos?
I have to pick it up Monday or Tuesday or next week, but I have to pick it up. So what's different if Saturday evening?
No,
But
I'm
the
talking about a
benefit-
case where you only benefit if he does it on Shabbos. That's what I'm talking about.
But my question is, I'm not going to benefit on Saturday because I'm traveling on Saturday for
I
the wedding.
understand, but the fact that he had to do it on Shabbos in order for you to get it, that could be problematic.
So-
no matter when you benefit.
So this suit should be forbidden for forever.
No, I'm not saying the suit
So
should be
if
forbidden.
not
You should
forever-
not be allowed to do it, is what I'm saying. You shouldn't be allowed to do it. I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about the punishment. I'm not talking about the punishment.
Okay.
I'm talking about if you're allowed to do it, is what I'm saying. Are you allowed to do that? Or do you have to forget it?
Specifically waiting.
Are you allowed to do that? Or
to use the
I'm
suit
not
itself.
talking about using the suit afterwards. I'm not talking about that. That's a separate question. I'm talking about, are you allowed to give it to him, knowing that the only way for you to benefit is if he works on it on Shabbos? If you did it and it was done in a forbidden way, are you allowed to benefit? Maybe not, because you're benefiting from the malacha. I'm not saying it should be usher forever, but it may be usher for this trip. I don't know.
Let me ask you this. Let's say you did it. You got this suit now. It should be make it dirty. It's gonna help you to allow it to use it. Okay, we calculate what they did.
Lemaisa, the Alter Rebbe brings two opinions here. So, Lemaisa, b'diavad, you could rely on the lenient opinion. So, in fact, it's not going to be awesome, b'diavad, right? But the question is, are you allowed to do it in the first place? So, that's a question that the Alter Rebbe has in Sifhei.
And this one as well.
The psak the Alter Rebbe actually says is that if by him doing it on Shabbos is the only way he'll get paid, then it's allowed, because he's also benefiting from doing it on Shabbos.
Uh-huh.
But if he has to get paid anyway, and you're only benefiting from Shabbos, then it's not allowed. That's Alter Rebbe's psak.
So as long as the guy needs to benefit, then you have a chadra.
Exactly.
And all the time they go is benefit because he can get paid.
No, in order for it to be mutter, if you're only going to pick it up on Motzei Shabbos, you're never going to pick it up after that. So he's not going to get paid unless he does it on Shabbos. Then it's okay, because he's also benefiting from Shabbos specifically. You're benefiting from Shabbos specifically. He's benefiting from Shabbos
So
specifically.
let's say we can cut it down. So let you bring it Friday and ask him how much to clean the suit. So say, okay, 20. So it's going to be ready for Monday. So how much is more if I want it earlier? So you're going to get for, you don't tell me when. I say, can you pick it up Saturday night? I said, okay.
That's the same as long as do it on Shabbos.
Why?
You just said, can I pick it up Saturday night? What do you mean?
He has no choice, only on Shabbat.
I'm sorry. I said, can I pick it up earlier this Monday?
If you did not
Once
say
you
Shabbat,
say a time, if you ask for an earlier time and he has to do it on Shabbos to do it, finish it then, that's the same as asking. Can I pick it up is another way of saying it. Can you do it?
yeah.
Well, you don't want to pick up a dirty suit.
Exactly, my sorry, because Sunday I'm close, but it comes early. So the normal pickup is going to be Monday. The early on is going to be Saturday night.
I don't think you can have Saturday night in that case. Okay, v'chol ze k'shkoitzes leidamim b'schar malachta shos etorach la'atzmak le'kabel schar v'nekais shlichus shel Yisrael. Oy shoyz b'teres ana adam shoyz b'chinam b'shvil teres ana shekibel kvar ma'Yisrael derech nes b'vosam nishmem zayin shedina kilo kotz le'schar av en nachos lasis b'chinam ela matzap el tashlim schar avalei nade smucha lebavarish le'kos le'Yisrael schar neshtrach safem b'shvil Yisrael v'nekais shlichusay לפיכך לעיתים לא יום כן שיכול לגרום קודם השבס, לא שכסס ידוע כן לחייב לנצח מותר, לעיתים להפעיל לסמוך השכל בסתם, לקציס דו בכל פעם ופעם יקסויס אימוי. Okay, my friends, sorry for reading so fast. The Rebbe says, you have three options here. Either make a fixed price, or teves hana, which means he knows he's not getting paid, but he knows that you'll give him a favor one day. Option number 3 is if he wants to get paid, but he's not sure if he's getting paid yet, then you have to give it to him with enough time to do it before Shabbos. Can't give it on Friday afternoon. Huh? What does it say after Shabbos?
Oh, just saying, why not?
No, you can't. You have to give it to him in a way that he has time to do it before Shabbos. אלא אם כן שיכול לגמרי קודם לשבת. איפה?
אלא אם כן שיכול לגמרי במי יכול קודם לשבת, או אחר כך.
איפה אתה?
מה?
What are you reading?
Kuf?
I don't have pages here. Sivvav, I'm in Sivvav.
Yeah, no.
You're in CFA.
CFA.
I need a Sivvav.
So change the page.
When we finish it.
I said it about that. It was too complicated. I didn't read it.
Yeah.
Over here, it's like, אם כן תעשה בשבתון שהולך להגיע פניית מוצאי שבת, כתוב את זה, בגלל שיש רווח לישראל מה שבת. אסור לתת למתאים קודם השבת, אלא אם כן שיוכל לגמור בימי החול קודם השבת או אחר.
I'm not doing going back to Sifhei. Too complicated.
No,
I'm done with it.
So you're giving him an hour before Shabbos.
I'm done with Sifhei. You want me to go back to Sifhei? I'll go back to Sifhei.
No. So
Sifhei is talking about kotzatz, when you had a fixed price. Sifhei is talking about kotzatz, when you had a fixed price. There, he doesn't have to be able to finish it before Shabbos. He can finish it after Shabbos also. That's Sifhei. Sivav is loy kotzatz, where there is no fixed price, and he wants to get paid, but he doesn't know how much he's getting paid. That's when you must give it to him with time to do before Shabbos, not after Shabbos.
So now change the page.
Okay, my friends. Now, in the Yesh Matirin, which I don't want to read again, you're going to have to forgive me. The Yesh Matir and the Alter Rebbe brings the opinion of the Rosh, which is what the Rambam brings also, that says that even if it's loy kotzatz, I'll tell you the truth, the reason I don't want to read it, not that I'm being lazy, is that it's very uncommon to have loy kotzatz. When's the last time you gave a job to a guy to do and you didn't fix the price? I mean, you're asking for trouble.
Even air conditioning. He can't tell you a price until you go through.
No, you don't leave mechanic, we don't know.
Okay, 1 second. If you do that and you give him a green light to do the work before he gives you a quote, you're in big trouble.
Yeah.
That is an example,
Yeah.
but you're in big trouble. What you should do with your mechanic is tell him to give you a quote before he does the work.
Definitely.
Otherwise, you
otherwise, you leave the car over there and you don't want the car anymore.
Legally, it's like that. You sign up to a certain.
You know?
No, but if 1 second, if you actually don't give him you don't ask him for a quote, then you're right. Then it's an example. Then it's an example. And then you would have to give it to him in such a way that he does it before, that he has time to do it before Shabbos, or that's what the rest of Sivav says, which I'm not reading, is the opinion of the Rosh that says if you give it to him on Thursday or before, it's also okay. The whole issue with loy katzatz is only if you give it to him on Friday. On Friday, if you give it to him on Friday, you have to give it to him early in the morning, 1 second, so he has time to finish it. But not on Thursday or before. Why? Because the Alter Rebbe explains that the time of the shlichus has to do with when you give it to him. When you give it to him, and it's a thing that he's not getting paid for, or there's no fixed price for, so then he's working for you. So, and it's Friday, it's almost Shabbos, and they see him working on Shabbos, they relate it back to the time you gave it to him. But if it's on Thursday, it's removed. They don't see it as a shlichus.
So why when he's got concepts, it's have to be done to give you enough time to do before Shabbos, there's not enough time to finish it after? Let's say with a mechanic, you drop it on Friday and say, listen, I have a problem, just fix it.
Exactly. So the issue is,
and you're going to pick it up Monday.
The issue is that when it's loy katzatz, it's considered working for you. When it's katzatz, he knows what he's getting. He's doing it for himself. He took the job. That's what a kablan is.
But this your regular mechanic that go with you.
So what?
She's sorry for you.
If it's loy katzatz, it's like he's doing it for you, and you're going to pay him. You're like
But even so that you have enough 2 days after Shabbos.
you're the rich uncle. It's on
No,
you.
but even so you have 2 days after Shabbos, it's still a problem. You give it on
Yeah.
Friday, and you're just going to come back on Monday to pay and to pick up the car.
If it's loy katzatz, the only way the Alter Rebbe allows it is either if you gave him time to do it before Shabbos, that means you brought it Friday morning. Could be he'll finish it before Shabbos. That's number one. Or if you gave it to him on Thursday, even if it's a big job that takes 2 days, but if you give it to him on Thursday, so it's not so clearly connected to the agreement that you made because it's removed by a day, those are the two heterim. But if you give it to him on Friday and there's no time to finish it before Shabbos, then he's strict. Because even though he could do it after Shabbos, but when he does it on Shabbos, which he's probably going to do it.
You don't know if he's doing it.
That's true, but because you told him to, you gave him the job, and it's loy katzatz when he does it on Shabbos, which probably he's going to do, it's connected to you. Because he doesn't have a fixed price, he's considered your worker. That's the problem.
Fixed hourly rate is not a fixed price.
Actually, the Alter Rebbe said before that anything that has a fixed price is like katzatz. The Alter Rebbe says that.
It's not a fixed price.
But if a work is something's going to take between 6 and 12 hours.
Right. So
they pay fixed price $20 an hour.
right, but that itself is the question. How many hours is he going to work? That's not fixed. That's not fixed. That's not fixed.
Unless you make the next.
Nothing's working for you.
Right, but until it's not, there's no fixed. Even if there's a maximum within that range, there's no fixed.
That's still contract.
Doesn't seem like it. It seems like loy katzatz. Seems like loy katzatz.
Even if there's a maximum number?
So what? It's still not katzatz. Still not katzatz. Katzatz means there's a price. But it seems. Let me see if he has anything to add here.
The carrier might going to change. They're going to charge you more after.
What?
Yes.
Since when?
Yeah. Let's say you have a account with UPS. Okay. You're sending it, you're shipping it. Okay.
Yeah.
And you pay the whatever on online store like it was $15.
Yeah.
Okay, you can be charged even more. But let's say it's measuring the boxes and it's different dimension and the weight. So
That's because they made a mistake. That's not because that's like katzatz. They made a mistake, so they gave you the wrong price. That's not that there is a fixed price. They just made a mistake. They have to honor their quote anyway.
So basically,
If they quoted you too high, they have to give you the right price. But if they gave you too low and it's their fault, they probably have to honor it legally. I imagine.
Yeah, like
all the way. So in case that you don't have the mechanic to him to honor what the company give you the right price, can you listen? I give you $10 now, and the rest I pay you when I pick up the car.
Then you put yourself in a position for. Oh, it's also fixed price, Rabbi. It doesn't matter when he paying, Rabbi, because he.
There's no time to wait until he's gonna check and see what's the problem.
That becomes a problem.
No, to check that then he has no fixed price yet.
By putting something down doesn't help.
And you still don't lose the price. See, he's gonna decide the price depending on how long it's up.
Yeah, okay, but you willing to do it for the $10 starting to work?
Rabbi, like I'm going to Home Depot and the shelf, it's item, it's like it's saying 15, it costs 20, and they give me 15 because it's on the shelf.
Yes, I hear you. My friends, I cannot say that I'm 100% clear on that particular question. When it has a hourly rate, which is fixed, and he just doesn't know how many hours it's going to work. I don't know. I don't see it discussed clearly. Not
What would be the reason to say it's customs? It's like the exact opposite of customs. The guy could take I'm going to charge you $15 an hour, but it could take me 3 or 17 hours. So it'll be 35 or 1,500.
Yeah, but that's working for you if you're paying them by the hour.
No, it doesn't work for you.
That's a good point. It's a good point.
It doesn't work for you. The mechanic.
Well, that's not good.
That's not good.
He's not working for you. He is
If he's not
telling
working,
you.
no, but that's. I think it's a problem.
He's telling you.
I think it's a problem. If he works by the hour, but he gives you the quote in advance,
Yes.
so then that's the price for the job, even if it takes him more.
Yes.
If it takes him less, you better believe he's charging you anyway. But even if it takes him more, he can't say, "Oh, it took me more." It's too bad. You gave me a quote.
If you
But
work half an hour,
if he has an
an
open balance and he could charge you by hour, I think that's a regular hourly worker. I think it's a problem. I think so. Okay, we go forward with Zion, and we say, okay, I don't want to read it again because it's not so negea. But in theory, if you gave it, we're going to go to Chesed in a minute. If you gave it to him, if you gave it to him, beloy kotzatz, which you're allowed to do before Friday, if you see him working on Shabbos, you have to stop him. Even though you're allowed to do it, you have to stop him. Ches. Ches says that if you had I'm not reading it inside again. If you had a ktsitza, if you had a fixed price, and you see him doing it on Shabbos, you don't have to stop him. Because it's not your problem. He's not your shliach at all. The only exception is, let's read the end of Ches, and nevertheless, it's being done publicly. And it's well known to the public that it's Jewish. Okay, so this is the practical thing. You gave your car to a mechanic, and it's in a Jewish neighborhood. Let's talk about a mechanic in your neighborhood. People know your car, so you shouldn't give it to him on Friday in such a way that he's likely to work on Shabbos. But let's say you gave it to him on Wednesday, on Thursday. He could have finished his job before Shabbos. He didn't. Okay, not your problem. But if you happen to pass by and you happen to see him working on it on Shabbos, you should stop him. You should say, please don't work on my car today. My holy day, do it another day. Because the fact is, it's a public thing. And even though you didn't cause him to do it on Shabbos, right? You shouldn't have caused him to do it, and you didn't cause him to do it. He chose to. But the fact is, it is Marasayan. Now that you see it, you should stop.
How better when you give him the car to face Tuesday? Say, big deal, whatever, if they don't work on Shabbos.
You don't have to. You don't have to. Because we consider it.
What are the chances you're going to be walking by the...
Exactly. No, but there's no chiyuv. There is no chiyuv because it's his choice, and the fact is, there's no We don't have reason to believe he's going to wait until Friday, until Shabbos. So there's no clear Marzayin. Maybe it will be, maybe it won't be.
Friday already. It's not ready. You're not going to get the hour.
Okay. Maybe yeah, maybe no. Maybe yeah, maybe no. The Chachamim didn't want you to do it in a way that's for sure going to be Marzayin, or at least a high likelihood. They didn't say you have to make sure 100%. Question?
About the concept of working by the hour. If you give somebody a job to do, like to repair your car, and the mechanic says, like you were saying before, I charge you so much an hour for my work, but you're giving him the job to do. So in effect, he's giving you a fixed price. He's telling you, whatever it takes me the hours to do, I'm going to charge.
Yeah, but if he doesn't tell you how many hours, that's not a fixed price.
It's a fixed price, Rabbi.
It's a fixed,
He's telling you how much per hour, but he's not telling you how many hours.
He's telling you
I
about 3
understand, but
hours.
there's no.
Else who works by the hour works for you. You pay him so much an hour, and when he accomplishes, he accomplishes. It's not ended. There's no.
That's what I
end to
said
the job.
before. Yes. Mechanic, he tell you.
Does some more.
Mechanic, he tell you. The mechanic, he tell you 15 hours an hour. It can take you about 3 hours. It take you 5 hours. And then it's done.
It tells you it's going to be between 200 to 300. It doesn't say exact, but it's going to be in between. Is it fixed? It's fixed.
You say give them
I said I have to start and then I tell everybody it shouldn't be more than 3, but maximum going to be 3. It could be less, but I don't know.
If he said that words, stay away from him.
I'm not sure.
If you take it back to a dealer,
Not sure.
They go on the computer and they know if they need to replace a water pump on this model, it takes 2.5 hours. And that's what they charge.
Yeah.
And then the belt, it takes 75 minutes. I mean, they have a computer, and they tell you exactly what it is. So they're charging you per hour, but it's fixed.
That's when you go to big dealers and stuff. You go to the little mechanics, they don't do that.
They do the same thing, just they're doing it in.
They do it this way. They don't do it that way.
Yeah, they're going to tell me it takes 4 hours for this, for this, for 400. But
Close parts.
it takes them 1 hour to finish everything.
What's the discussion that I'm missing?
I'm not sure. The question is being asked if you're not sure how many hours he's going to work on it, but you know the job, the amount per hour, or you know the range that he might charge you, but you don't know the exact charge, if that's called katzitza or not. And I am not actually sure.
Isn't the difference that with the katzitza, it's something that where you give the person a task, and the amount is discussed, but but the focus is more on the task ownership, as opposed to a laborer where you are directing the person in what to do. Or is that not it at all?
I believe it's two separate things. I believe the fact that he has a specific job to finish is what makes it into a kablan. But in addition to having it be a kablan, he also has to have a fixed price. You understand what I'm saying? If he's not a fixed price, even though he's a kablan, he still only has one job to do, and he's doing it, according to his time, when he wants to, not based on your telling him to. So he is a kablan, but if there's no fixed price, even a kablan can be considered working for you. See what I'm saying? There's working by the
What's
job.
What's the logic of that?
Working by the hour, but even when working by the job, you have to have a fixed price.
So where does this concept come from?
I'm quite sure it's from the Gemara. Quite sure it's from the Gemara.
And is there a logic given to it over there?
Yeah, that's the logic. That if he doesn't have a fixed price, so he's considered to be doing it more to please you. He doesn't own the job yet. It's like he's still trying to make you happy. When he owns the job, he knows what he's getting. It's like his job. But until he knows what he's getting, it's like he's working to make you happy.
And what is someone who is your non-Jewish neighbor who just likes to do nice things for you?
So that's Tovas Hana. That's the same as a fixed price.
So the reason
he
that
knows he's not getting anything specific. He knows he's being nice, and you'll be nice, and that's good enough. But if he's expecting pay, but he doesn't know how much, that's when he's trying to please you. Okay, Rabbi said that
but he sets the pay.
In the Machaber, in the Shulchan Aruch, he seems to be talking about a case where you're going to set the pay, and that's why it's a problem. You're saying maybe if he sets the pay, and you have to listen to him, maybe it's better because it's not, you don't have the option. I'm not 100% sure about that, honestly. If he is the one that can decide. Rabbi Say, the story is I don't want to finish 252 inside because it's long. So I'm going to give you homework. I don't usually give homework. I'm going to give you homework, and if you can finish the Alter Rebbe in 252, that would be good.
All the way to where?
All the way till Yud Daled.
Yud Daled?
Yud Daled in the Alter Rebbe. Not including. Yud Daled is already a new discussion.
Yud Daled.
Up until, but not including Yud Daled. If you can read it, and then what I'll do, Mirz Hashem, on Monday, is just to go over it outside, just to discuss it outside, and then we'll continue. Mirz Hashem, Reish Samach Aleph has a few seifim about Bein HaShamshos. We discussed it last night. If go working for you in the very beginning of Shabbos, that's what we'll do after Reish and Beis. Mirz Hashem. All right. Have a good night.
Stuff in for Ma'ariv?
We have